Fernando Alonso warned Leclerc that he is coming for his Silverstone P4 finishing spot as the two-time champion sneakingly urged the FIA stewards to look into Leclerc's illegal defensive tactics. Alonso believes Leclerc should be punished for his dangerous maneuvers, which would see the Spaniard get promoted up to 4th place. And with Perez also under investigation for pushing Hamilton off the track, Alonso started believing that he could indeed make his way up to the podium places. So, what really happened? And is it likely Leclerc or even Perez will get penalized? Let's find out. The British Grand Prix was packed with drama up to the brim, with those spectacular last few laps being the most action-packed and close racing we've seen in a long time. With Carlos Sainz comfortably in the lead and Perez sliding up to second, the most sensational battle came in pursuit of the podium's final step, with Hamilton, Leclerc, and Alonso braving it out on track, fighting for that magical 3rd place. A battle in which Hamilton eventually came out on top, with Leclerc and Alonso closely behind to round the top 5. It was hard racing, with Leclerc closing in the door on Hamilton at the very last moment, forcing the Briton to back off, and Perez pushing the 7-time champ out of the track in his battle for 2nd place. But Alonso claims there's more to the story, as he suggested the stewards take a closer look at Leclerc's defensive tactics against Hamilton, with the Spaniard insisting he saw the Ferrari driver weave on the straight multiple times, making it impossible for Hamilton to go for a move under braking. After his P5 finish, Alonso was asked what he made of the race, to which he answered, "It was really good at the end. We were just behind the fight and saw all the action. I was hoping that maybe 2 cars would touch each other and then the podium was there for us, but they raced hard and with a lot of respect. But it was still fun to watch from behind," he initially opened up, praising the close racing. But he then spotted an incredible opportunity to sweep his way up to 4th, which he surely didn't want to miss. So, whilst being in the spotlight, he smartly didn't fail to mention he saw Leclerc's dirty tactics, as he knew the stewards will be obliged to investigate the matter if it's brought to their attention. But they raced very hard, but with all due respect, so it was fun to watch as well from behind. And then, yeah, I think P5 is a mega result for us, even though I think it's going to be even P4 because I saw Charles moving 10 times direction on the straight defending from Lewis, and I moved once in Canada and I had 5 seconds penalty, so these 3 movements, I guess, not allowed. So yeah, P4 feels even better, the sneaky Alonso added, comparing the situation to the previous Grand Prix in Canada, where he got notoriously punished for the exact same tactics, as he was weaving on the straight to fend off Bottas, which led to Fernando being awarded a 5-second penalty, dropping him from a solid 7th all the way down to P9. There's always action after the race, Alonso concluded on a positive note to him, really showing he's hopeful of a Leclerc penalty. And the Ferrari driver didn't leave anything up in the air, as he himself opened up about those last lap battles with Lewis, calling them on the limit, but insisting it was all hard but fair racing. "I had to be on the limit to try and keep my positions. I don't think I could have done much better than that. It was fun. On the other hand, I was very frustrated," he revealed, referring to Ferrari missing an opportunity to pit him for a fresh set of softs, which would undoubtedly award him victory as he was leading up to the late safety car. "In my position, I was on used tires and all of this was very, very tricky. I was always checking that Lewis was a bit behind at the apex to try and remember the rule and to play with the rules, so I tried to do my best." Leclerc successfully overtook Hamilton around the outside of the notorious Copse Corner, making it 2 years in a row where the pairing exchanged places in that unforgiving section of the track. "It was incredibly tricky, and actually, as soon as I passed the corner, I look in my mirror and I had a flashback of last year," concluded Leclerc. But to Alonso's disappointment, as of the time of recording this video over 16 hours after the race, the FIA still hasn't issued a verdict about Leclerc's weaving, which most likely means he's not getting demoted from his P4 spot, meaning Alonso will sadly have to settle for 5th. If Leclerc really weaved on the straight, one can be sure Lewis would be on the radio, urging Mercedes' sporting director to make the stewards aware of the rule infringement, especially given he was yet to pass Leclerc with the podium still out of sight. So, it seems Leclerc might get away with it. And while weirder things have happened in Formula One, it would be very unusual for a penalty to be applied a full day after the race finishes. But whether it's 4th or 5th for Alonso, he simply couldn't hide his smile, as he most importantly beat Lando Norris, who finished a place behind him. With Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes clearly at the front of the pack, the midfield battle is shaping into a proper two-team battle, with Alpine and McLaren fighting for the best of the rest trophy of 4th in the standings. McLaren is just 6 points ahead of the French team, sitting at 73 points compared to Alpine's 67. But Alpine has been firing on all cylinders as of late, especially on the Alonso side of the garage, as the Spaniard scored points in the past 5 consecutive races without fail. And despite Norris already putting 58 points on the board this season and Alonso only managing to score 28, the tables are quickly set to turn in Alpine's favor due to McLaren's unique issues. The working team has a massive disadvantage within their driver lineup, with Norris being the only driver carrying the team. Ricciardo once again failing to live up to the challenge, tumbling down the order on most race weekends. Ricciardo is sitting at a mere 15 points, only scoring on 3 occasions and recently failing to finish in the top 10 in all but 1 race out of the last 6. So, despite McLaren arguably having the quicker package at most tracks, Alpine has an invincible driver lineup, with Alonso and Ocon making the best of this year's car. I think we are 4th, I would say, in terms of team standings, very close to McLaren at some circuits like this one. Alonso opened up after he was done trying to get the team an additional 2 points by pointing to Leclerc's illegal defense. I think this one was very good for McLaren with high-speed corners, and we were right there with them, added Fernando. Norris also acknowledges that Alpine are McLaren's biggest rivals this season, as young Lando picked Alonso as the man to beat in his British Grand Prix. And things were looking good up until the safety car, with Norris comfortably leading Alonso. But a bad pit stop call from McLaren cost him the position, as Alonso was pitted for a shiny set of red-striped tires at the earliest opportunity, whilst McLaren were hesitant to bring Lando in immediately, only pitting him a full lap after, allowing Alonso to make the jump on Norris. We had to make the call on whether to stay on the hard tires or box for softs, and we almost made the worst call we could, Norris revealed. We boxed the second lap, so we allowed Fernando past, and we also allowed him to have a free pit stop on us. Whereas, if I had boxed first, I would have been on softs. He might have tried to stay out on the hards, and I would have gained that and been on the better tire that way, Lando concluded. Fernando tried to shoot his shot at Leclerc, trying to get Alpine an extra 2 points on the board. It most likely hasn't worked out for him, with no penalty being applied to Leclerc as of yet. Something the Spaniard will undeniably be furious about, given he unapologetically received a 5-second penalty for doing the same thing last time out in Canada. But we want to know what you guys think. Do you think it was just hard but fair racing at the end? Should penalties be applied? Should Alonso be promoted up to 4th? And what did you think about the last 10 laps of the race? Let us know in the comments down below. We've recently started a second channel called Front Row Lockout, where our sole aim is to keep you in pole position with all the latest stories from the F1 paddock with sub 3-minute long and value-packed videos. We would dearly appreciate your support by subscribing. Plus, there's an ongoing giveaway for all subscribers of the new channel, which you surely don't want to miss, as you can win prizes such as your favorite team's merch and much more.